Hello, friends. My name is Chrissy. This is Questions for Dessert, and it is my birthday. My plans for today are to shoot this podcast and then to do a tea tour of my city, stopping at various coffee shops to knit and journal and drink tea. And it's really foggy here in Kentucky today, and it just feels like the best way to spend the day. It is about 8:30, and I want to confess that I am distracted by the barrage of happy birthday texts that are coming through as I record. So if I randomly just go, I'm not staring into your soul. I'm trying to read a text sideways. So today we'll talk about what I finished lately and what I currently have on my needles and my plans for Christmas knits. So the first thing that I finished this month, there are multiple videos about, is Opal, my very first sweater. I love her. She is the step-by-step sweater pattern by Florence Miller in Cascade Eco Plus. I love her. However, one of the things I did mention is that I bought way too much yarn. I bought the gigantic hanks, and by the math I did for the sweater, I would have needed 4. And I used 2 1/3 maybe. So then several of my finished objects are from the same yarn. This is where I want to make a disclaimer. If your last name is the same as mine and you don't want your Christmas present ruined, you may want to stop here. So this is big stop sign for the Bentley crew. You've been warned. My second finished project for the month is another of the Bandana Cow by Pearl Soho. Again, this is the same yarn as my sweater. This is for my father-in-law. I really, really like the weight and the drape of this, even though it's Aran and it's 100% wool. It hangs so well. Lesson learned here, though. When you block something, you tie in the ends and then you block it, right? Don't cut off the end. I have an end that has frayed out during blocking. I'm not too nervous about it because I do have the little needles, the darning needles from, I forget who makes them, but they're the ones that have the hole down the entire length of the needle. So it's going to be really easy for me to fix this. But sew in the ends, block, then cut off the extra. Yeah, this is family Christmas gift knit number 1, the Bandana Cow from Pearl Soho. My next finished object is the mini scarf pearl by Veronica Stunkus. And this, I love how this came up. It is a double seed stitch. You can tell I messed up the pattern right here in this row, but who can tell but me and you? It's beautiful. Once I figured out the pattern and what I did to the pattern on the wrong side versus the right side, it made it a super easy little whip. I learned my lesson, even though it's blocked and ends are sewn in. The strings are not cut. It's just a real cute little guy. It's so pretty. I cast this on October 27th. And I finished it up on November 1st. Now let's talk about works in progress. Starting with my eternal work in progress. I say that, but I have a plan. This is my Coziest Memories blanket from Kemper Ray. I did not work on this blanket, not nary a single stitch in October. I completed at least a square a day up through the end of July. August, I got on knitting other things. September, I got on knitting other things. October, I made my sweater. Like, I haven't been working on this the way I wanted to. Also, it's big and it's clunky and it's heavy and it's warm. So I'm really excited to get back on the Cozy Memories blanket for November. I added this square yesterday. I started this teal one today, and this yarn is making a mess, so I should probably finish the square before I put it back into my bag. So my intention is to have a square a day, to average a square a day for the month of November, because I have so many gift knits, but I also want to focus on myself for November. Okay, so let's talk about WIPs. First, we have something I'm working on for me. This is my Musselburgh hat. This is in a Wool Tribe yarn. The color is Junaluska 2025. My mom purchased this for me at the Maggie Valley Yarn Store. And this is how far I got in the month of October. So I started in September and I've gotten this far in October. I'm pretty proud of that. She's so pretty. I don't know when this will be done. I'm really in no rush. I started it on September 22nd. This is just something for me to have for my mindless knit. Just stockinette that I can go on whenever I'm too tired to count, or I don't want to purl, or whatever else is going on. This sincerely is my keeping my hands busy knit. I'd love to be able to wear it this winter, but I mean, it's only November 3rd. So I'm sure I'll be able to do that. But this is my October progress on my Musselburgh hat. And I've got little gnomes that are like the hermit with their little lanterns as my needle protectors. I have another WIP that feels like it's never going to end. This is my Boneyard shawl by Stephen West. This will be a Christmas gift for my mother-in-law. And here's where we are. I started this on September 20th. It's really just been another background project. I try to do a few hours of work on it on the weekend mornings, maybe when I get to it. But it's, once I got past, I don't know, maybe a foot of it, it became really slow going because the length is so long. It took 4 balls of yarn. I have about a ball and a half left. It'll get done by Christmas, but it's not something that I'm like worried about needing to finish. I am using the Malabrigo Silky Merino, and the colorway is Arco Iris. There was no pink in this last skein. It was just green and blue, but I mean, I think it works okay. This has been a beautiful knit. It feels like it is so luxurious and so fancy for not a lot of effort. It's knit and purl and make ones. That's it. And it's beautiful and it's really soft. I've got little Christmas gnomes. I have a gnome thing. Like, I do have a Christmas thing too, but like, these are here because they're gnomes. As my little needle keepers. That's so hard to say. Needle stoppers is easy. Needle keepers, not so much. But Boneyard shawl, Stephen West, hopefully will be finished by the next podcast. And finally, my latest cast on, which I just cast on last night. This is the 2x2 hat. This is a free pattern from Anne Gagnon. I was just looking for a free pattern to use some yarn that I found at our local restore. This is Cascade 220 in the colorway 863 Cordovan. This is one of the few yarns that I bought that had a label on it. I am trying really, really hard for Christmas this year to use free patterns and either yarn that I have in stash or yarn that I've purchased secondhand or yarn that I've traded for, etc., etc. I will probably have to buy yarn for my youngest she's not my youngest niece anymore, for one of my nieces who I want to make a pink sweater for. And the only pink I have is fingering weight, and I don't know that I'll have time or interest to knit a fingering weight sweater. I guess I could make that double. Hang around and find out. Hopefully those gifts will get started next week. So this is going to be a hat from my brother-in-law, Luke. I started this last night, so I should be able to get it done by the weekend. So just to recap what we've got so far, we had the mini pearl scarf for my sister-in-law, Bentley. This will be the hat for my brother-in-law, Bentley. Have the bandana cowl for my father-in-law, and the shawl for my mother-in-law. So that should be my husband's family taken care of for Christmas. And then I'll have my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister-in-law, my 2 nieces on my side of the family, and then our 2 best friends. So I've got a lot left to do, but I think I have a plan, and I'm excited for you to come along with me. I want to keep this pretty short today, and this is going to be the end of my podcast because I want to check in every week on my knitting progress instead of a big one once a month. So I'm going to change the Progress Keeper stitch markers on my ongoing projects. I'm going to pack up the hat and head off to a coffee shop today to drink some tea, to do some knitting, to do some journaling for my birthday. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you next week with some progress. Take care of yourselves, friends.